Happy Earth Day. Hey, Uncle Scooby here, and I want to give you a different perspective on Earth Day. Now, it's great if you ride your bike to work or school once a year on Earth Day, but that's kind of missing the point. We live on an absolutely marvelous planet with beautiful creatures, and unless we change our complete way of thinking really quickly here, the next generation is not going to be able to witness the beauty that I just saw while scuba diving on the Great Barrier Reef in Australia last month. The thing that most people get wrong about Earth Day is they think that they need to make sacrifices for the planet. Not true. What's good for the planet is good for your pocketbook and your health as well. It's win-win. The problem is, this takes long-range planning on your part to be able to implement this. But I know that a lot of you are under 25 and you will be making decisions soon that you can make so that you maximize your health, save all kinds of money, and help the planet at the same time. The problem is that most people make really big decisions without looking at the big picture. That is what spreadsheets help you do. And that is why in my How to Get Rich series, I strongly recommended that people do a couple practice exercises to learn how to use spreadsheets to make these big decisions to your best advantage. Let's take cars, one of the biggest contributors to global warming and pollution on the planet. Now at this point, a lot of people dig in their heels and say, I have to have a car. Well, yes, you have to have a car because of decisions you have made that force you to have a car. They chose to have a big house out in the country where they have to drive to work instead of a smaller place closer to work or public transit where they could have walked. Because they made that choice of choosing the bigger house out in the country, they have got to have a car. Before you buy that car and depend on it, remember, the average car in America costs $10,000 a year to operate by the time you include gas, maintenance, insurance, payments, all of that. $10,000 is a hell of a lot of money when you're starting out. For young people, that can be the lion's share of their income. Now, before you commit to spending that crazy amount of money, do a spreadsheet. Look at what it would cost not to have the car. Move closer to work in the city. Move closer to where you could take public transit. You can even include some taxi rides or Uber rides or Zipcars or whatever you have a few times a month for those times when you have to have your own car to go grocery shopping or whatever. You do not have to have a car. You can choose to plan your life so that you don't need one. And this is a great example of win-win. It's better for the planet if you do not have a car. It's 100 less scoops out of a strip mine, and it's one less tailpipe spewing exhaust into the atmosphere, and you can save money. So it can be win-win. This is a great example. But do that spreadsheet before you buy a car and move out in the suburbs where you have to have the car. When it comes to global warming and pollution, a lot of people just throw their hands up and say, it's hopeless. The government has to do something. That is BS. The governments are not going to do shit. If this planet is going to make it, it's going to be because people like you and I fix it, not because we're relying on our governments. Let me give you a great example where thinking globally and acting locally really works. Solar panels. So 4 years ago, we put solar panels on our roof. We were one of the first in our neighborhood. And I did the numbers, I did the spreadsheet. I knew it was a great investment. And you know what? People saw them go up. They came and talked to us. And they go, yeah, that's a good idea. There's now over 10 people in our neighborhood who have solar panels. Now, you might say, well, that's nothing, 10 houses. But people in other neighborhoods were doing that too. Because all these people put solar panels on their roof, that is one less coal-fired power plant we are going to need to build as this country grows larger. Every little bit helps. Think globally, act locally. And with these solar panels, that is another great example of how it's good for the environment and good for our pocketbook. Because I did the work ourselves, it was really inexpensive. I calculated it would take 3.5 to 4 years to break even, and that has happened. Our panels have paid for themselves already. For the next 20 years, we get free electricity. You don't get much better than that. Good for my pocketbook, good for the planet. Win-win. Earth Day is a great time to think about the future. You don't actually have to do anything today. Just think about it. When you get that first big job in the future, don't just run out and buy a car. When you rent that first apartment, think about the whole cost. Not just the apartment and how big it is, but whether you need a car or not to get to that apartment. Look at the big picture. Do a spreadsheet. And I think you'll probably find that what is good for the planet is really good for your pocketbook and also for your health. I haven't talked about this yet, but if you are walking to public transit or riding your bike to work, that is time you are exercising instead of sitting on your butt in the car getting fat. So it's good for your health too. So that is it for Earth Day. Thanks for watching. Bis nächste Mal. Auf Wiedersehen.